Hey, this is JC and welcome to Small Brick City, where we want to help you build a Lego city regardless of the space you have. In this video, we're going to have a look at the Chinese New Year Temple Fair set 80105. If you missed my previous video on the review of the Lion Dance set and hearing my thoughts on the authenticity of all the different elements symbolized in that set, do check out the link in the description below or check out the card if you see it. But in this video, we're going to have a look at this Temple Fair set, and it's a pretty elaborate set, many small stalls going on, as you can see from the box art over here. Now it's pretty interesting because if you look, there's snow over here. It definitely looks like it's melted snow all around. In fact, the trees are depicted to have snow all over the branches and the leaves as well. This is in celebration of the Year of the Rat, which is what it is this coming new year. Let's have a look at the back. You can see just close-ups of the different stalls and lots of things going on. So tell you what, let's have a closer look inside as we build up the set. And here we have the entire set built out. As you can see, it's pretty big, so I had to zoom out, so it might seem pretty small because I had to try to capture everything within the frame of the camera. I'd like to thank Annie for building this once again and putting everything together and saving me 49 hours. As you can see, there's lots to take in. Many different stalls to create the scene. And of course, we've got a nice temple behind. That's not so much a temple, more of a temple facade, I think. But it does look good from this angle. If you want a real mock challenge, you can try to create an entire temple following this particular design. Or maybe you can take the Temple of Arjitsu, which is a Ninjago set, and try to combine it together to create a larger temple. But take note, Ninjago is supposed to be more Japanese, this is Chinese. Now, anyone who follows Small Brick City knows that I'm a sucker for market stalls, and this is the first time Lego has put out Chinese themed market stalls, and they've done a great job. They've used many different build techniques, especially for the roof, to create visual variety, which is greatly appreciated. And they also have connectors in the form of these lights, lanterns and scrolls between two market stalls. It is a bit like the street set that came with the Ninjago movie, I believe, a few years ago. That's a pretty nice set as well and would fit in to this layout, I think. We've got the trees behind as well, but tell you what, let me zoom in to the different builds and I'll give you my thoughts on the authenticity of these builds. Here's a look at the first set of stalls. We've got two different stalls, but first let's have a look at the minifigs. You get quite a few minifigs in this particular set. Not sure if there are many new prints. Not for the torsos here, and maybe for the faces, or is this a Harry Potter face? It doesn't have the scar, but you can let me know if you think that these faces are new. That one is pretty much standard. Let's come over here. And let's have a look at the set as two. So you got two different sets. This is kind of a, I guess, a porcelain and knick-knack store. Maybe some antiques. I really like the way they have put this together. All the different vases really work well in this kind of a design. So that's pretty well done. Over here, I'm not sure what these are supposed to be. Maybe they're supposed to be idols of sorts, or maybe they're counterfeit Oscar statues. But I guess since this is a knick-knack store, it can be really anything. Let me just see if I can disconnect this light string over here, just so that it's easier to handle. Okay, so let's have a look at this first. Overall, pretty good, nice solid build. You can get a bit of angle over here so that it creates just a bit more of a cozy feel and just breaks up a straight shape. So that works very nice. And you can see that the roof, again, similar technique to the roof used in the previous Lion Dance set, which I pointed out. That's the use of plates and then these rounded tile pieces over. I think it works well, and this is even more elaborate because they've got some clip pieces to create this kind of ornate look. Color scheme, very contrasting, works very well. Overall, great job for this stall, I think. This looks like a puppet theater kind of deal going on. So these are the lights. And yeah, we do have this guy over here. Yeah, definitely a puppet theater. So this guy over here, he's got all these puppets and different creatures. So he's doing like a show back over here, and an audience would look and see this. It would be good if they put in a light brick just to create that. For the Temple of Ajitsu, they did include a light brick to create that effect of a shadow theater. So I think they could have done that over here. These are not firecrackers, but some kind of fireworks. I mentioned in my previous video, this is not really traditional Chinese fireworks or crackers. So this is kind of a more Western influence. And here we have, I guess these are just gift boxes of sorts. We have the word Fu on it, which is basically fortune, wealth, prosperity. Overall, color scheme works very well. And you can see again a different build technique over here. But again, using all these bar pieces, quite nice, I think, just to create that ornate look. Always good when you want to do some kind of a Asian themed build. And here's the other set of stalls, and let's have a look at the minifigs first again. We have this guy over here. Maybe that torso print is new. Let me know if you've seen it before. It's got a milk bottle. We've got another baby mode over here in the stroller. This girl, now she's holding a red packet. See, this is a traditional Chinese red packet, which usually comes with money inside. And I mentioned in the previous lion dance video that lacked this, because when the lion dance would perform and they would accomplish a feat, they should be given a red packet, which is this one right over here. We've got a guy who's holding a stick of barbecued stuff, whether it's vegetables or meat or insects, we'll never know. Two girls over here. I haven't seen this torso print here on the left. Other than that, the rest I have seen a nice little bag accessory over here. And we've got another guy in a costume who's obviously a stall keeper. And over here we do have the guy who's doing the barbecue, because you can see it says here Sao Kao, which is barbecue in Chinese. So that rounds up the minifigs. And we look at the stall over here, two different stalls. So we have the barbecue stall and we have this, looks like a toy stall. So let's have a look at the barbecue stall first, and let me just pop this out so that we can look at it easily. So this is very nice. I mean, it's really like a Chinese stall. You've got all kinds of things, you know, just sticking out, like the way they've done the arrangement for these holders for the food and shelves and baskets and whatnot. So really nice. You've got all the raw materials here. You even have a cleaver here, and you've got this nice barbecue, kind of a modern barbecue going on over here, and he's grilling it. So just works in my opinion. I think this is really realistic and very nice for what it's supposed to be. Nice use of these light tan ingot pieces. I always like the use of ingot pieces for decoration. I think this so much texture. Okay, so over here, this looks like some kind of a bun or pastry. I have no idea what this is supposed to be. Are they rice bowls which are decorated, or is this the little known panda snout or face kind of delicacy? Let me know what you think this is. Is it supposed to be rice bowls and just designed, or is it something else that I'm missing? Annie thinks these are buns actually. So buns with a bit of a decoration. That could be possible. If we look at the roof again, different techniques from the previous roof, and very nicely done as well to give that texture in a different way. So overall, great job on this stall. Now let's have a look at this stall over here. So this is the toy stall, and this is again the string of lights. Now lots of different toys. You got that. That's a nice rat in that dark tan color. You've got a plane, balloons, a panda. Not sure if the first time I'm seeing the panda. Now the mode is not new, but is this the first time I'm seeing a panda, or was this released in last year's set as well? Let me know in the comments. There's a duck. Now what do you think this is? Now some people might think that these are lollipops, Chinese lollipops. The more learned might realize these are pellet drums, which is like a handheld drum that you can actually hold in your hand, and you would turn them like that, and there'll be a string with two kind of, I guess, balls on the ends, and they would make noise. So kind of a rattle. And you would see this not just in China, but in Korea and Japan as well. So what do you think they are? Are they lollipops or are they pellet drums? I can tell you for a fact, these are actually lollipops designed to look like pellet drums. But nice, gives a nice variety over here. Let's have a look at the back. Simple kind of a storage area, some drawers and more knickknacks over here. And once again for the roof, very nicely done with again that same technique as I mentioned before, using these rounded tiles, but in a different color. And these are jumper plates over here to give a more smooth look. And of course, they have all these, again, clip parts with these bars and accessories to give it an ornate look. Once again, nice job on this stall. Here we have the trees, as we saw on the box art. And these are nice scrolls, as you can see, with well wishes in Chinese characters. Now, to me, these look like scrolls. In the previous line dance video, I mentioned that the scroll that one of the girls was holding didn't look like a scroll, looked more like a stretcher. Now, if they had used this, I think this might make more sense. But maybe they just wanted something longer. Then they could have put, I guess, another of these modified open bar plates over here on this side. But pretty simple, but does look good because of the parts used. Not a new technique in terms of building the trees, but still adds variety and just adds a bit of nature to the set as well. And now we come to the biggest part of this build, and it's the namesake of this set, and this is the temple, or as I mentioned before, just the front facade of the temple. Minifigs, got orange hair with this hoodie. I believe this came with the hidden side set as well, but here we have a dual mode for the head for the girl, and here we have a guy with a winter hat. So obviously this scene is in the winter, and that's why we have that all those snow elements as we mentioned. Now there is an issue, and I'll mention that when we combine the two sets together, this set and the line dance set. I'll explain what the conflict is in just a bit. And we've got another red packet over here. Over here we have the entrance to the temple. So this is really a backdrop to the entire scene. So if you had to set this in a Lego city, unless you take this as just a tourist attraction, this is just a front facade, you might have to build steps down here. So it just looks like, you know, a kind of a tourist attraction. If not, you need to put this against a wall, if you have a wall for your Lego city, or you might want to take up the challenge and building a proper temple. This is really nicely detailed in how they put everything together with this kind of technique. This matches the gateway from the line dance set, but there's even much more ornate details, and all these printed tile pieces just looks very good in my opinion, and how they put this railing together with the white ingot parts here now and these grand steps. So it looks really grand. I think it fits well. The only thing I might do, I think, would I increase the height of it slightly, or is it big enough? I think it could go either way. If I wanted to make it look more majestic, I would, increase the height, because it does look a bit low, especially for these doors. A lot of times for these temples and these Chinese buildings, the ground floor tends to be a bit taller and higher, especially for a temple or build like this. But overall, what you see is what you get, and I think it's a nicely designed thing. You get all these printed tiles, so that's always good. So here's a look at the two sets combined together to create one large scene. So with the line dance set as well as the temple fair set all put together, you get a nice courtyard scene where you've got the fair going on inside. This is the gateway from the line dance set, so it works very well if you arrange it like this. I'm going to move it out of the way just so that you can see the inside. And you can see there's just now so much more activity going on, especially with the lion dance show or competition going on as kind of the main central attraction. And then you get all the stores surrounding it with the temple entrance as the background. So overall, I think it looks great, and if you have a Lego City setup, this would work really well. You would need quite a bit of space, though I think you'd need, it looks like at least, I guess even if you have to squeeze it, I'm thinking probably 48 studs deep, and maybe you need 64 studs wide, so you do need a lot of space. So what I would probably do, I'll cut out some of the lines, because typically when you do have some kind of a lion dance show like that, you won't have so many lions. Unless it's a competition, you might. But for the sake of the scene, and if space is an issue, I would take out some of the lions and I'll just try to compress, everything together as much as I can. Overall, I think this works as a Chinese New Year set. It looks pretty good if you look at it this way, and I'm sure it'll add a lot of life, a lot of creativity and color into a custom Lego city. Remember I mentioned the conflict earlier on regarding putting these two sets together? Now here's the simple conflict. If you look at the box art of the Chinese New Year Temple Fair set, you see there's snow all around. That's why the trees also have snow. But in my video for the lion dance set, I mentioned that the lions were actually southern lions. So if it's winter here, it can't be in the south. This scene must be depicted in the north, because that's why it could possibly still be snowy during Chinese New Year, because you won't have this weather in the south. So the question is, did the southern lions come up to this temple set, or is it Lego's way of giving us a subliminal message on global warming? Something to think about. So what do you think of the Temple Fair set, and what do you think of the combination set? Does it now change your mind, and maybe you might consider getting both sets so that you can create a scene just like this? Do let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you had the dragon boat set from last year, you could also put this by kind of a river and have the dragon boats off to one side. That would make a really nice large scene. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't, please subscribe to the channel and turn on that notification bell. Even though it may not work, please turn it on. I'll talk to you soon.